This tutorial is all about the receding effect in CorelDraw X4. We are going to do this image. I'm just going to explain here that this is just a photograph, and what we're going to do is we're going to make it a receding effect. Like, see those drop shadows in there with a very simple steps. So our target object is this one. So the first thing I have to do is I have to create a boundary here, or rectangle that fits right very close to the photograph. There's actually a shortcut key on creating like a border around this photograph. If you click on the object here or the photograph and you go to effects, and if you click on create boundary, it will create a boundary around the photograph. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the boundary. I'll make it smaller a little bit. So I hold on shift and grab this handle, this one, or the four corners. So I click and hold on shift and go in a little bit. There. I just want the rectangle smaller than the actual photograph. Okay, so before that, I'm going to click on this rectangular box, right? And I'm going to put it in the clipboard. So I'm going to Control C, or you can go here, edit, copy. Okay, so once I click on copy, I'm going to have one in the clipboard, same as this rectangle. Okay, so now we click on the rectangular box and we go to my drop shadow tool, which is this one, interactive drop shadow tool. Click on that, and we're gonna use a preset. Let's go to small glow. Okay, so click on small glow, then make the drop shadow color. Okay, once you click on the interactive drop shadow, and this will be your properties. Okay, so now I'll go to my color of the drop shadow. I'm gonna make it black, so that's black now. And then I'm going to go to this drop shadow feathering direction. I'm gonna click on outside. Okay, and then right beside that, this one is the drop shadow feathering edges. I'm gonna click on inverse squared. Okay, now in here I can adjust the feathering. So I'll make it 13%. It really depends if what effect do you want. I'm going to make it 10%. I think 10% is fine. Okay, so I'm done here. So the next thing we have to do is we're going to separate the drop shadow and the rectangular box that we've just done. So you click on the drop shadow and go to arrange, break drop shadow apart. Okay, so click on drop shadow, and you notice it's two objects now rather than the rectangle here. Okay, just going undo. Okay, so now I click on my drop shadow. I know that's a drop shadow because it says here lens. Okay, that's a drop shadow. And then I'm going to go to effects, powerclip. I'm going to powerclip, place inside the container of this rectangle here, the rectangle I just did, and click, and it goes that way. Okay, now it looks good now, right? So the next thing we have to do is I'm going to click on the photograph, which is this one. I'm going to zoom in here. This is the photograph, and I go to my effects, power clip again, place inside the container, the same container as the one we put the drop shadow, and click on this one now. And you notice it disappears, right? The drop shadow disappears. Okay, that is because the drop shadow is behind the photograph inside the power clip. So we click on the object which has power clip inside. You notice here power clip curve on layer 1. You go to effects, power clip, edit contents. So once you click on edit contents, you would see what's inside the power clip. Okay? So what happened here is that the drop shadow should be in front of the photograph. So you just go to arrange, so we click on the drop shadow, arrange order to front of the layer, there, and then we finish editing the object. Okay, now we zoom out. So the only thing we have to do is to create the rectangle, the bigger rectangle. But before that, I'm just going to paste. Remember, we copied the rectangle. Okay, so I'm going to paste it so it's there now. And I'm going to hold shift, and drag it or enlarge it. Okay, so let's say I'm happy with that. I click there. Now what I'm going to do now, I'm going to stylize this border. Okay, what I'm going to do, I'm going to click on this object here, and I'm going to use the interactive fill. I click and drag going up. Okay, and of course I'm going to put this down, so arrange order to back of page. Okay, and then I go back to my interactive fill tool, and I'm just going to play around with the colors. So I'm gonna put that there. I'm just gonna drag the colors. Let's say I'm gonna put this here. I put white in the center. Okay, maybe put another pink in here. There, and I can also adjust the interactive fill, the slider. Okay. Now if I want to make that texturize, I would go to my transparency, so click here and then go to transparency, and then in transparency you can go to textured, so click on texture, and you notice you can see that you can create textures. You can also choose a texture from here. I think this is the one that I used. Okay, and then you can adjust the texture and rotate it there. I think that's fine, and then I click there. Now we're going to do the same as the one inside the frame. So we're going to click on the frame itself, and you go to effects, create boundaries. Okay, so we have a rectangle all around the bigger rectangle, right? And you know it's a different object. If I move this one, see, that's a different object, so I'll just undo it. Okay, now I can go to my drop shadow. I can go to small glow again, same as what you've done. I can make this black. Okay, and then this one I make it outside, so same thing as the other one, and then inverse squared, and I can adjust the transparency. Okay, I think that's fine. Okay, so now I go to arrange, break drop shadow apart. Okay, so this is the drop shadow and this is my rectangle. Okay, so I click on my drop shadow and I go to effects, powerclip, inside a container, and then I'll click on the rectangle, which is that one. I can also remove the outline if I want to. Okay, and let us see. Okay, so it's almost the same now. So what we're gonna do is going to do some reflections there. It's going to remove the outline of this box here. There, that looks better. Okay, going back to the target object, I think I put some reflection in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my Bezier tool, click here and click over there, doesn't matter, and then I am going to go to my shape tool, click on this line, and then convert line to curve. gonna make it like that. Oops. Okay, that's good. And then I'm going to go to my smart fill, click on this part because that's the only part that I wanted to make like a reflection. So I delete that. So I click on this, make it white, and I remove the outline, and now I can put some transparency. I click on uniform. There. I can also stylize the transparency. I think it's best if I just go uniform. Okay, and then if I want to shrink it down, so I go to my shape tool. Okay, like select those two nodes and just move it using my arrow key, going to the right side. This one too, I highlight these two nodes and go to the left side, and also the top one, go down. I'm using my arrows in my keyboard. Okay, so we're almost there. Okay, and if you notice, this one is darker than this one. It's also easy to do that as long as you click on the transparency here. Okay, and you know it's a power clip. Okay, you edit that power clip, you go to power clip, edit contents. What we're going to do is we're going to make this darker, right? So we click on the drop shadow and just go plus sign. Okay, so plus sign is just duplicating it without an offset, and then click on edit finish. Now it's darker. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to make a reflection going down. So I select this. Okay, in my keyboard the plus sign to duplicate without offset. Okay, and then I bring it down. Okay, I think that's fine. And I convert this to a bitmap. 72 is fine because it's only a reflection. You don't need to be high resolution. And then click OK. Just click on transparency, background, anti-aliasing. And okay, that's a bit now. So now you can go your transparency tool and click and drag going down. There you go. And then you can adjust the slider. There. Very simple.